ATNF is looking bullish for the short-term and medium-term timeframes. Let's go over some of those details for the coming sessions. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an ATNF raw price action and technicals thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCab. Sorry, I actually didn't mention the date. So today is the second day of our new year. So 2023, welcome everybody. New year, happy new year, happy new year. All right, so yes, let's go ahead and dive right into the chart. So we're looking at ATNF on the 4-hour chart here, and we're going to start off the immediate short-term time frame analysis with the ARC-Series Crypstex indicators. Okay, so in this case, you are looking at ARC DBSI. Okay, so DBSI is a statistical based indicator that actually takes a metric of every single candle printed in the asset's particular time frame. Okay, so in this case, we are on the 4-hour chart, and you can see that it actually has taken a metric of literally every single print. Okay, so why it does that is that so it can give us statistical value represented by a percentage, actually right up here, strength. Okay, so we're looking at bulls leading the way at 63% over the bears at 37%. Another thing that DBSI does is that it actually identifies whether we're below or above the 13-day exponential moving average, in this case represented by this yellow line, the yellow trend line. Okay, so things are still looking pretty bullish, and I can probably see an immediate short-term time frame. I'm talking about immediate short-term small pullback before a continuation onto the upside, and it could potentially be right at about $3.05 for a loading zone before that continuation up. Okay, so please notice here that the DBSI has given us an aggressive buy signal on December 23rd. And the price action has accumulated to the upside, and it has not since printed a sell signal, which could actually be this red dot. Okay, so things are definitely looking good for ATNF in the short term. So now let's go ahead and load up actually ARC Armor. Okay, as Armor is another indicator that is part of the Crypstex series, the ARC series indicators. These are available to you, by the way. Please make sure to send me a DM either on Twitter or on Discord. You can also find my email located in the About section of my YouTube channel, as you can inquire about them, and we'll go over the subscription packages for them. Please know that the subscription packages are not including any TradingView software visibility or access. Okay, so as Crypstex are authorized retailers within TradingView. Okay, so now, yeah, let's go ahead and continue now. So the ARC Armor indicator has actually printed a fresh buy signal here, actually a little more conservative than the DBSI, which actually gave us that buy signal right back here. Okay, so Armor is giving us a suggestion a little later, suggesting that upside, and you can actually see that we're starting to print some green bars right in the exponential moving averages. Okay, so these are several exponential moving averages placed together in very close proximity so that we can gain a type of directional movement or wave of motion. So these waves are able to give us as well some buy and sell signals. Particularly here, we can have a long signal here, goes up, short signal here, goes down, long signal, short signal. You can actually see how it's going. Okay, so very good things on the way for the short to medium term time frame for ATNF in particular. Okay, so new viewers, you are looking at volatility right in this indicator here, represented by a BBWP. So volatility is direction neutral. We pair it with a stochastic momentum indicator. Okay, so in this case, stochastic momentum is a proprietary indicator to TradingView software. Okay, which, by the way, I'm actually an accepted affiliate within the TradingView platform. So please, if you do consider, if you would consider making an account with them, please consider doing so, as it will help my trading future very much so. Okay, so now we can actually see that it's suggesting a continuation to the upside. I have back tested this indicator by itself, and it has given me a read of about 75 to 91% in guessing the asset's direction in general. So it's not perfect, but it's very good to consider for that upside or downside suggestion. Okay, so the reason why I'm mentioning this is because you can see that we're well within the critical volatility zone. Sorry guys if you can hear my toddler right back here. You can actually see Sorry, you guys, my apologies. So, yes, you can actually see that we're well within the critical volatility here, and that usually signals a potential continuation to the upside or downside since volatility is neutral. Okay, so in this case, critical volatility plus upside suggestion, chances are is that the upside suggestion will continue. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. So yeah, this is going to be a macro perspective, and we can see that we're well within a broadening descending wedge, and we have now reclaimed the inside of the wedge. Very good stuff. Okay, so now particularly to the 5-day chart, since we are looking at a larger term time frame, I would actually consider practicing some candle analysis in this situation. Okay, because I like to look at candle analysis more in the higher term time frames because they have less grain. Its chances are is that it'll have a higher hit rate than the shorter time frames. But the reason why I'm saying this is because we have printed a very nice bullish hammer at the very bottom of a downtrend here, and the following candle, which is the one that we're currently on, is essentially that validator for a continuation to the upside. And if it does continue printing in the manner of which is appearing here, like, we're going to definitely continue to the upside. And as well, please notice that we have had literally no iterations of volume other than right now, and you can see this is a massive amount of buy volume and buy pressure coming in. Okay, so now that we did gain the inside of that wedge, we can actually look back just a little bit with the Fibonacci retracements, and we can see that the 1.618 at $3.07 is a type of support, which I believe is actually in confluence with what we mentioned earlier, and I think it's actually within this chart here. So we actually said that we can pull back right about to about 308, so 307. So I mean, yeah, we have the 1.618 literally at 307. So that's a good area for support. And it's also the broadening descending wedge support line as well. So very good things for support, right? So now if we're going to consider a continuation to the upside, I do have some targets for you to eyeball. Okay, please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment. Okay, I need you to do your own DD and everything will be just fine. Okay, you guys, we can always talk about this or discuss this in further detail later. Okay, so yes, the first target that I can actually see before facing a small retracement would actually be between the 2.618 at $4.24 and the 3.272 at $5. So we can easily see a little short-term retracement followed by a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so the second area of interest would be between the 3.618 at $5.40 and the 4.236 at about $6.12. Okay, so either of these boxes are going to be reached and we're actually going to face a pullback. Okay, and that pullback, if we do it from this box, that pullback will likely be to test our current highs at about $3.39 before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so now if we do cover all the way up to the 4.236 at 612, the likelihood of finding a retracement to test the 2.618 is a lot greater. Okay, so if we do make that upside to the 4.236, we revert back to the 2.618 as a form of valid support before a continuation onto the upside. Please know that we are absolutely on the third iteration, which usually means, what I mean by third iteration is the third test of the resistance, since we have 1, 2 test and 3 test right over here, followed by a huge capitulation event, which is typical to the golden rule of 3 that we often speak of in this channel and on Discord. Followed by that retracement. So now the fourth test of the resistance would essentially be the true breakout. Sometimes we'll realize that on the fifth test, but the fourth test will usually suffices, right? So another important thing to notice is that we do have the 21-day exponential moving average in direct confluence with that resistance line from the broadening wedge. Okay, so in this case, if we did make that top side I'm talking about within the next week or two, this is the 5-day chart, so this can likely take easily a few weeks. if we don't, of course, face just an impulsive move to the upside in one iteration. So I'm talking about just per the playbook rules. Okay, so speaking of the playbook rules, if we're going to trade this as a massive swing trade, which could take weeks, you can actually see a take profit zone. Please remember, per the playbook rules, okay, we can actually see a take profit zone at about 91.01. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed that it's going to get there. I'm just saying that that's the typical way of how to trade a broadening descending wedge. Okay, there are a lot of obstacles on the way to that top side. Okay, so first of all, if we did break out above the resistance line from the broadening descending wedge, we do need to come back and test our current support. So it would be the conversion of the resistance into then support before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so this would be a very rocky road, and it would likely take days and days and days and days and days to complete. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the last part of the analysis, as we do have to get to the live stream shortly. Okay, so we are looking at divergence here. So divergence is the opposition of price action versus momentum, and in this case, momentum represented by this indicator RSI, relative strength index. Okay, so we can see that we have 1, 2, and 3 primary drives of regular bullish divergence, which are located right here. Regular bullish divergence happens when momentum is making a series of lower highs, or higher lows, and then the price action is making a series of lower lows. Okay, so very clear as day here that we do have those. It could have already played out since the fact, for the fact that we already have and are confirming a type of a bearish divergence here, but it's not confirmed all the way just yet. Okay, so it looks like a short-term pullback, which is very much in accordance to what I was talking about, reverting back to the $3.07 area, located in confluence with the 1.618 at 307. Okay, maybe even a wick a little lower, but that would be likely short-lived, and short-lived is relevant to a day, maybe a second day, followed by a continuation to the upside. Okay, but since it is the 12-hour time frame, so let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane so that we can gauge a deeper bias for that, or a deeper edge for that coming session. Okay, so let's go ahead and load this up. Sorry, you guys, I just have to adjust my hair here. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be taking a look at, wow, this is all a mess right now, you guys, because this is actually the second time I'm filming this, because there's a lot of wind outside, and the power actually just knocked out even my backup power source in the studio, which is really unfortunate. So I'm literally speaking to you about this ticker 2 times in a row. Cool. All right, so yeah, we're going to be looking at the 30-minute immediate short term, the bi-hourly, we're going to do the 6-hour, and then we're going to move on to the daily, since we've already seen the 12-hour divergence chart. Okay, so you can see that the 30-minute immediate short term time frame is suggesting a continuation to the downside pretty aggressively, which is likely to happen and is likely to be short-lived. Okay, since it is a 30-minute time frame. So please look at the let's look at this right here. So this is the bi-hourly chart. Oh, I'm sorry, I mentioned this on the first time, but not now. So new viewers, this is the diagram that I have made for the RSI zones, as I would love for you to focus in on them. That, I will be speaking about these 4 zones very often. Okay, so particular to the 30-minute time frame, we are right at the junction between bull strength and bull weakness percentile. So usually when we are at these junctions, the continuation on to the following zone or the prior zone is very likely. So in this case, we see the bi-hourly suggesting downside, a little bit of a rejection here from the oversold percentile. But please notice that, again, as we do maintain ourselves within the deep areas or within the shallow areas of any zone, the likelihood of being gravitationally pulled into the prior or following zone is likely, okay, or it's great. So now the 6-hour term time frame is suggesting, again, just a little tiny pullback right over here. It could be short-lived. But I mean, another thing that we have to do, that we have to keep in consideration is the positioning. Okay, so the purple line is the RSI signal, the pink line is the 14-day simple moving average. Okay, so the closer we get to this shallow area of the bull weakness percentile, the greater the likelihood would be for us to be gravitated into bear weakness. Okay, so we do have to watch out for that. Right now, presently on the 6-hour, we are not yet in that shallow area, but we are dangerously close, which can only only suggest a pullback, which again is in accordance of what I was talking about as far as a pullback in the other time frames. Okay, so now what I am giving credit to is this the daily time frame, because it is suggesting an aggressive upside continuation, and it has now arrived right at the junction between the bear strength and the bear weakness percentile, which usually means a continuation onto that bear weakness is likely. So please notice that the moving average is also correcting. Let's look at the buy daily. Buy daily suggesting continuation to the upside as well, has now made a bullish cross above the 14-day moving average, and now the 14-day moving average could be used as a form of support before continuing on to the upside. Very good stuff. Okay, so the 3-day is suggesting upside, now freshly making that cross of the 14-day moving average, looking good too. Okay, so this is why I'm saying that we're likely to face maybe a day of a pullback, maybe 2 days before we continue on to the upside. Okay, so the targets that I have mentioned are still in play, and we can actually see, just if we want to be as discretionary as we could be, I will give you a support area that we can likely come back to. Okay, so that would be between the 1.618 at about $3.07 to about $2.67 located at the 1.272. Okay, so very likely we can see a touch back to here over the next trading session before a continuation on to the upside. Okay, you guys, so I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the ARCa trading community, or come by and say hi to me on Twitter, right? So if you are interested with the if you are interested on the indicators, the Crypstex indicators, please reach out to me. Definitely send me a DM and we'll go over those subscription packages, okay? But with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.